than they ever
So,
been. They can
so
read a
then,
little bit now, but they still begging and playing, but they have no
let
common
me ask you
sense.
this. Let me ask you this.
And Tony is a perfect example for that,
Can I ask you
of
a
that.
question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question? Now, you always telling people to do your silent prayer because it supposedly works. But the thing I can understand is when you have a rally like the one down there in Modesto, you always call for the Proud Boys to come and protect you. Why you can't just pray your silent prayer and let God protect you instead of calling for violence everywhere you go?
That's one of the dumbest questions I've been asked in a long
No,
time.
no, it ain't.
It is. That's a
Answer
real
that question.
Tony.
Answer that
That
question.
question is so dumb. It doesn't even uh, worth an answer. It's not worth an
If
answer.
if
It's a
you have
dumb
faith in
question
God, if you have
because
faith in
everything
God,
you
you
just
wouldn't need the
said,
Proud Boys to protect you.
it just everything you just said is a lie. But
It's
Tony,
not a
thanks for
lie.
calling, buddy.
Okay,
All right,
keep hope alive, bro.
all right, amazing, amazing. So I want to know who you think was right, and we talked about this yesterday at church too. So some of you may already know what I think about it. But what do you think about this? Who was right? This is from News.com. A man and his family were denied service in New York, in a New York restaurant, for failing to produce proof of vaccination, which resulted in a heated confrontation. And I want to know, who do you think was right? The restaurant owner or the man that wanted to be serviced? Watch this.
So you're refusing to serve us? Are you refusing to serve us? So you're going to enforce segregation because we just told you that we're religiously exempt.
You told us you had your vaccination card.
I never told you any of that. I would never tell you that. I would never say that. I would never say that.
You have to leave.
You don't have to leave. If you have the flyer, you have the flyer that you're supposed to put into your window, right? Okay, go and read it. Go and read it. Go and read it, and you tell me we're not leaving. Well, I'm not leaving. You guys can leave. I'm not leaving. Oh, we don't have our vaccine card, so now the kids can't eat. We can't eat. You guys are okay with that? This is the America you want to live in? Is this the America you want to live in? No, you. You see? You're not American. That's why you need to get the out of here if you're not American. All right? Get the out of here. Okay? This is America, and in America, everybody can eat. Everybody can eat in America. All right? This is not segregation.
They're telling us that we can't eat here, but yet they didn't ask.
This is America. You need to wake up. This is the kind of country you want to live in? You want to live in this type of country? I told you that we're religiously exempt. If you read the poster that you posted on your thing from the city, it says you cannot discriminate, okay? Read the poster. It says it on there.
Chris, had you seen this before today?
No, first time.
And before we talk, what do you think? Who was right? Who was wrong?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know if it's just as cut and dry as one is right and one is wrong. The guy seemed to be getting totally out of hand. And I would say the guy filming was going about it the wrong way in that regard. And I will concede that
Who was getting told out of hand? The guy that wanted
the guy
to
that
eat?
filming, the guy that wanted to
okay.
eat, the guy
All
in
right.
the business, he was getting out of hand. He was getting ridiculous. I mean, and again, it's what did he think he was going to go in there and like just, oh yeah, I'm going to change their mind. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to bully them, and then they're going to serve me my food. Like, oh, for sure, that's definitely going to work. Well, it might have. I mean, if he was black or non-white and the owner is white, he might have gotten his way.
Was he a Filipino? I mean, not Filipino, but he was Mexican?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I would be. He definitely wasn't white.
I thought he was black that spoke white.
Oh yeah, his voice didn't sound white to me.
Right. He sounded like one of those educated blacks.
Yeah.
And the kids, I was just trying to look at the kids.
Yeah.
I can tell if they were Mexican, Puerto Rican, or black.
I can rarely tell anymore.
Right.
It's getting out of hand. But
what a mess.
yeah, I mean the kids are there, and he's just like, you can clearly tell he's in a riled up state as opposed to, you can tell when someone is taking strong action and doing the right thing and, really being a man about it. However, it's just a moral, my moral standpoint is that this vaccine mandate thing is wrong. So I don't, the business does have a right to do whatever they want to do, but I will not take the side of businesses wanting to operate in this way.
Yeah.
It's out of hand, but again, there's I guess it's more of a order of things. There's a hierarchy to things, and I will accept that a private business can do whatever they want. And if they do want to live, that way, I'm no secessionist or anything like that, but I'm kind of like I want to do, go my own way while they can, live however they want to live.
Yeah. When I first saw this video, I thought, at first I was tripping thinking that the owner was wrong for trying to put him out. And then when I really, really thought about it, reflect on it, I realized the owner's losing money. The owner is caving in to the government by requiring you have a proof of vaccination. And he has a right to do that if he wants. You lose business, that's up to him. And I realized that if that guy wanted to eat that bad, I'd go down the street to another cafe or make my wife, I guess he had a wife, he had children with him,
Right.
make her cook.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty
Go home and cook.
plenty of option. He wasn't on the precipice of starving to death.
Right.
I have to eat now in this restaurant, or me and my children will die.
Right. And a lot of these women don't like cooking and cleaning and stuff, so
Yeah.
it made me wonder if he had that kind of wife that don't like being a woman, a wife and a mother, right?
Very well could be.
Because he carried on too much about that.
Yeah.
I would have disagreed with the owner, but if they said, no, we don't want you to eat here, just like during the civil rights movement, when, as I mentioned yesterday, when the blacks were trying to force white private businesses to let them in. Anyway, the white people had the right to say no.
Right.
And so likewise here, I definitely don't agree with the mandate and all that kind of crap. But if they want to say no, don't let it be so important that you carry on like that in front of your children and everything.
Yeah, that wasn't the right way to act in front of kids like that. He's acting ridiculous.
I would have taken my wife right across the street and said, look, get some groceries. Let's go home and cook.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not for... These people go out of business after a while because they won't stand up. They'll follow the government's order too, so they'll go out of business because half of the people stop eating at these cafes and going to these games and looking at these games and all that. This mess would stop then.
Yeah, and I think that the larger agenda taking place here would be that these I don't know what how big that restaurant or anything like that,
right?
If it's a chain or something like that, but largely what will happen is that there will be so many mandates and so many hoops to jump through that these mom and pop shops are just kind of smaller business, like it's a single store or there's only one or two or three.
Yeah,
those will just go out of business because they just cannot maintain a business with the government enforcing all these regulations,
That's
new
why
taxes. Only the chains will be able to survive.
That's why the small businesses have to unite together and fight back and say, no, we're not falling for it.
Right, exactly.
And they say no to it. And the
Yeah.
government can't make them do it.
Yeah, I think
they
there's a
do.
better way
Yeah.
to go about it than what this guy was going about it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the right way.
Amazing. I want to show you this. This is from Twitter. That first story from news.com. I spoke earlier about these parents don't care about their children. The mothers or the fathers don't care about their children. And the women are too lazy and ego-driven to stay home and raise the man children. And they are trying to force the schools because most of these parents are using the schools as a babysitting camp. Anything to get the children out of their hair, they don't be bothered with them. and while they go to work and pretend to be a man and that they are equal to men and all that. And so when the schools say no, they're like, no, I want my child to go anywhere. I don't feel like raising no kids. What the? I'd rather be out working like a man. I love my ego more than I love my children. This is from Twitter. A video of a child being forced to wear a mask in a daycare is going viral. The caption reads, "This is my poor kid at a daycare today so I can work." Watch this.
Put your mask on. No, you gotta wear it on, honey.
No, you gotta keep it on.
Put your mask on.
There you go. Keep it right there.
Yay, Mason! Yay!
Keep it on, Mason. Look, we're gonna keep it right here. Nope.
That's amazing. That mother is as evil as the teachers or the daycare workers that are trying to put that on that boy, that little child. And the mother is as wicked, has no love for the child. So she can go to work. I've told you once and I've told you twice, parents don't love their children. When you see the kids acting out, they are the example of their parents. And these women are so lazy now and in competition with men, trying to prove that they're better, that they're sacrificing the children to day camps in order to feed their own ego gratification. Men, I wouldn't marry these kind of women, make babies with them. I wouldn't do it, but do what you want. You're going to have hell to pay. New York's new female governor, a woman by the name of Kathy Hochul, mandated masks for daycares last week. That's from Spectrum News. This woman is worse than the governor they got rid of. Worse than that man. He was wicked to the core. She's worse. She's mandating this for children. The people, the so-called elitist people, whatever they're supposed to be, they're going around partying, having a good time, and no mask. This is a photo from the Emmy. And I guess they had this junk last night. The Emmy was last night and celebrated, partied together without any mask. That's from the New York Times. See, no mask. We're wonderful. We don't have to wear them. Make the poor wear them. We don't have the virus. Listen to their party. No mask. All close together. While that stupid woman trying to force her little son, look like a son, to wear the mask. And the poor people, y'all falling for this stuff. They want to control you. Communism, socialism is about control. It's about control. Look how Tony called about the recall of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom been caught with no mask. But Tony's so dumb that he think it's all right. Whatever dumb stuff he was saying. Why don't y'all wake up? Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Tracy is a first-time caller out of Los Angeles.
Hello.
Hey, Tracy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
You're
and I
welcome.
want to thank you for the work that you do because it cleared up some things for me. But I have a question for you.
Yes.
The question is, you say that, can you understand my words?
I can, yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you, because I had a stroke, so I talk kind of funny.
Oh,
but
okay.
anyway, you say that the woman desires her husband. I think this is a lie. I think most women lie with their husband and lie to their husband.
Well, I don't know if I said they desire their husband, but I know the order of God is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And
I agree with that.
most women today hate that because their
They
egos
hate their
have
husband.
right.
They hate their husband because they have to use their nether regions to keep them. They probably have to use their other regions to get them. You know what I mean? They have to use sex to keep them.
Yeah, they use sex. Sex is like a drug for the woman. She uses it in order to seduce and control the man.
Yes, she does. I think she hates him because of that.
She does. Women hate weak men. They prefer the man to be strong, but they'll take him anyway in order to make themselves feel better. For their
Well,
ego.
maybe that's. But does the woman desire the man to do that to her? Because I don't think that's true. I think most women hate the fact they have to use sex to keep their husband.
They have a love-hate relationship with it because most women, I know there are a lot of sluts out there today, but most women are not into sex per se.
They're not.
Right. But they pretend that they are just to control the man with it, but they'll prefer the man to be strong and not fall for it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so they have like a love-hate relationship going on.
Well, thank you, Jesse. You really helped me a lot to understand some things.
Right
but
on.
I think that most women do not like sex.
Right.
That's a lie.
Right. Absolutely. Tracy, thank you for your call. Call me again, all right?
I will, Jesse, and thank you for your work.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Keep up the good work.
I will. I definitely will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing. She's right. Greg is out of Illinois. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Great Black Hope.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm amazing. How about you?
All is well, sir.
Good. So before I ask my question, can I give a little bit of background?
On what?
My question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks. So I was brought up in the church since I was a baby, pretty much. And we were taught in order to get into the kingdom of heaven, you know how you have to go down to the altar and admit that Jesus is your Lord and Savior and that he rose from the grave in 3 days.
Right.
And we had to do that and accept Christ into our hearts, right?
Right.
Whereas your message is to go and forgive, and you can get into the kingdom that way, and to repent, of course.
I'm sorry?
So you teach that you have to forgive and repent in
Right.
order to, right. So my question is, I believe you more than the churches I grew up in, but my question is it possible for someone to enter into the kingdom of heaven who is not a Christian or a Jew, like someone who's a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist?
It's possible.
I know God can do whatever he wants.
It's possible for anyone to enter in if they were to go and forgive, because when you go and forgive, you are repentant because you have been playing God. Anyone that has anger is judging, they're playing God. And so they are seeing that they're wrong for doing that, and they go and forgive. God will forgive them and draw them in. Otherwise, they're not going to get in.
Right. Cool. And I asked that because I have a buddy who is a Buddhist, and he believes some of the Christian values, but he's not like a full-fledged Christian.
Right.
Now, if he were to go and forgive and repent, he could still get in to the kingdom of heaven.
If he can see that he's wrong for having anger, and anger is judging, right? If he can see that he's wrong for doing that, go and forgive, he shall enter into the kingdom. Otherwise, he will not get in.
I can see that.
Going down to the front of the church and accepting Jesus, Lord and Savior, is not repentance. You're not repenting for anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I know a bunch of people who used to do that, and then they were right back at square one on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. and
Right, because
whatnot.
nothing changed.
Right.
They still have the anger. They're still playing God.
And I saw that in myself after listening to your show. This is the second time I called you, but I was telling somebody yesterday, Satan was my daddy for 20-something years,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
All this time I thought I was a quote-unquote Christian, whereas in reality I had anger my whole life up until recently. So a lot of people believe that they're followers of Christ, but they don't even know Satan is their daddy. So that's why I appreciate your message so much.
Yeah, I didn't know that Satan was my daddy until I turned 38, and I really started asking God to show me, right?
Yeah.
Because I had that emotion too. I thought I had love, but that came from hate. And so no one had really told me and explained to me really what was going on. But he showed me when I started questioning things about myself. I couldn't change myself. I couldn't make it right. I wanted to be right. I couldn't be right. So once you start questioning and look at yourself, you can. He will guide you. He will show you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I show your message to a lot of my friends, and they're really starting to get it.
Right on.
It just has an incredible impact on me and them.
Right on, man.
It kind of brings us together also.
Right, because once you let that anger go, you become true friends then because you of the same God. You have love instead of hate in your heart. Anyone that has anger has no love, so you can't even trust an angry person.
Exactly. And I live my life without fear or anger at this point.
Right on.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. Thank you, Grant. It gets better, man.
Yep.
Stay with it.
I hear the music playing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for your call. Amazing. Back in a moment. More calls. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. All right, folks, welcome back. I want to go back to the Super Chats and D-Live.
Super Chat.
Super.
All right. Super Chats. Let's check out where we left off here. Mike Young from Streamlabs says, hey, Jesse, I don't even live in California, but I think it's a shame that the 80% of black women there in California don't seem to care about high gas prices and homeless bums. As long as they get their welfare check, they could care less about change.
Absolutely. I agree. The black men need to take back the women and teach them the right way to go. Women need men to lead them, and that's not happening in the black community at all. You can find it 1 or 2 places, but it's very rare. Okay.
Hydro from Streamlabs with a verse from an R. Kelly song. I will skip over reading it, but it's a good one. His most popular song, I would say. That's enough for people to know.
Okay.
It's a good one. Anyway,
thank you.
Bibby42 from Streamlabs says, James Hake has a mind like a steel trap. You can't get one over on him. Hakeomania just ran wild on caller Robert.
James Hake is on fire. And he's also on the air from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. TheHakeReport.com. Right after my show. TheHakeReport.com from Monday through Friday. All right? Check him out. He is on fire.
Big Baby 42 from Streamlabs says, I have a, quote, hangover after listening to caller Gerald, Apparently Gerald said, a lot.
Oh, okay.
From, I think that was from Friday.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Joel never did that with a couple of diamonds. He says, Jesse, my daughter is flourishing since I found you. A million thanks for leading me back to the Father.
Right on. You're welcome.
Right
God
on.
bless you.
PJ 909 with a diamond from D Live says the spooks are going crazy. Yes, they are.
Amazing.
Spooks are going crazy. 90 going north from Streamlabs says interesting. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Nice.
Good quote. Good quote there.
Amazing.
Powers That Bear with a diamond from D Live. No message. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I think this one was also from Friday because PJ909 with a diamond, he said, have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks a
Well,
lot.
I hope you have one. Thank you.
Very nice. Juranimo from Streamlabs says, discernment comes from God allowing you to see the truth. Judgment comes from Satan letting you look at things with an ego, and not having an opinion is letting God's will be done, not yours.
Amazing.
That is per our discussion in church yesterday.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Regarding
Thank you.
discernment, judgment, and not having an opinion.
Right.
Norm McDonald, I guess, sending us a super chat here from the grave from Streamlabs.
Thank you, Norm McDonald.
Says, with the Democrats forcing communism on America and Republicans being too weak to fight back, I can't honestly support either political party. That's why I'm endorsing podiums. Now, that's a product I can stand behind.
Well, there is only one party system in America today, really. The Republicans representatives cannot be relied on. They're just talking heads, but they have hidden agendas. They are no different than the Democrats. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happening right now. Okay.
Thank you, Norm, for the Norm McDonald humor there. Super Dave with a diamond from D Live says, for the church basket donation, amazing church.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Daniel E. These are from church if you had not realized that yet from that super chat. Daniel E. No message. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel E.
Ruben H. Hernandez the fourth says, I ain't ever dying. What the?
What? Nah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A Logical Mind from Streamlabs says, in response to mask and now vaccine mandates, stop begging people to take your money. If they don't want you there for whatever reason, leave and go where your business will be appreciated.
And I agree with that. And part of what's happening now is a wake-up call for all that, for people to become independent individuals again and stop being so dependent on the government and all that. Yes, we should fight against what they're trying to do to us. That's for sure. That's wrong. But they want to control us. But also stay calm so you can see amazing opportunity. If a cafe don't want you in there, if it doesn't want you in there, you might not agree with it, but if they want to lose the business, it's up to them. And so just go somewhere else or start your own thing or make your wife cook at home. And if they're trying to make your kids wear masks at these public schools, which are no good anyhow, they're deaf camps, then homeschool. We've been fighting for homeschools and and that kind of thing for a long time. School choice. This is the moment for it. Don't try to force your kids. And husband, make your wife stay home and raise your children and teach them at home. I'm just saying.
Evgeny Crosby says, church with Jesse Lee Peterson is amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Cold Burger Art says, amazing church. Forgive the fear-mongering Bible thumpers. They were compromised early on.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to wish them well. But I would never, ever recommend you debating the Bible thumper. It's just words. It's just a waste of time. Because Satan raises through their head with more scriptures and more scriptures, and that's all you're going to get. Okay.
Super Dave with a diamond from D-Live says, I appreciate church and JLP and the crew. Be well.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Beta Troll Destroyer from Trovo says, best church on this side of heaven. Amazing.
Church on this side of heaven. It was amazing. I love a good fellowship. Thank you.
Madi Ubaldo, that's pronounced the correct way, Madi Ubaldo.
Yes.
To my understanding, says, Jesse, most amazing church service on this side of heaven. Stay blessed. Much love.
Thank you. You too. Ubaldo.
Madi Ubaldo.
Oh, okay.
Spelled M-A-R-I, but pronounced as if there's D's for some reason.
Hate said the B sound like a V. Marty.
That's right.
From one white man to another one.
Appreciate it, James. Thank you so much.
I really enjoy the fellowships. I've always enjoyed them from the moment we started 31 years ago. And I know it's because of suffering through my issues and fellowship. It has helped to keep me aware. It reminds me of hearing other people's stories and fellowship and hearing good testimonies and stuff. It has kept me aware because I notice that some people get away from the prayer and they don't stay with it. So thank you. The service is amazing.
Internet Manster says, church was amazing. If there is one thing I know about myself, it's that I know nothing. Yeah. I don't want and can't have an opinion on things I don't fully understand. I am a simple man. I am the observer. Thank you, JLP and crew.
Right on. Thank you.
J-Rock, no message.
J-Rock.
Ryan 8U, also no message.
Thank you.
And Joshua Boykin, no message.
Thank you, Joshua.
Let's see here. Eric Cartman 695 with a recommendation on a Christian band. Thank you.
Thank you. Send it to producer at JesseLeePeterson.com.
I have heard of them, Eric Cartman. Thank you. Mary Boston, no message.
Thank you, Mary.
Todd with looks like a fox emoji dressed as maybe a samurai. Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Justin Dack with is that British pounds, I think, maybe? From England, perhaps?
Heard around the world.
Yeah,
by everybody, Mama.
Or the UK or something.
Thank you, Justin.
He asks, well, firstly, he says, thanks, Jesse. Just a curiosity. I like your sense of fashion. Where do you keep all your clothes? God bless you and the team.
Well, thank you, and I keep them in the closet.
Yeah, same.
Thank you, buddy.
Let's see here. Geronimo from...
Those are euros.
Euros. Okay, so from Europe.
Yeah.
Geronimo from Streamlabs says, over the weekend, Facebook censored a comment I made on a post on a German page where people are speaking up, saying Germany needs to, think for themselves, think English second language here, I believe, think for themselves and turn back to God. They shared the silent prayer video, and they claim that it went against the community standards.
Amazing.
Got him.
Uh,
Rough.
remember when you stopped? I need to get you some calls.
Will do.
We'll come back. Thank you all so much. We're going to finish up on all of them. All right. Thank you. I want to go to Chris, a first-time call out of Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see here. Georgia on my mind. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir. How are you?
I'm not doing too good, man. I'm having a lot of issues.
What's wrong?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what my next move should be. I have a child out of wedlock with a woman. We actually do live together, and she's actually, she works and everything like that. But I've tried to get her to stop working and just take care of our son because we pay so much money for daycare and things like that. And she doesn't pretty much listen to anything I say. Anytime I suggest something for her to do or something she should do or try to help her financially, she always gets really angry for just no apparent reason, just really angry, and makes it seem like she's being targeted and things like that. So it's just, I just don't know what to do. I'm at a hard place because I don't want to not be with my son because that's one of the things that I listen to you every day that you talk about, trying to raise your children. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what's your question for me, Chris?
My question is this: what should I do about her, or if there's anything I can do about her?
Well,
I guess that's the question.
You're not married to this woman, right?
No, I'm not, no.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do because she's not your wife, so she's not subject to you. And it's difficult for men today, even when they marry these women, because they've been educated and they're jealous of the man, they're in competition with him. But if you are married to her, at least you get some help from God dealing with her. But if you're not, you don't have a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim.
What I would suggest, I'm not telling you to leave, but I would suggest you sleep in a separate bedroom, stop the whole sex thing, and see that you can stay with your son until you can get out of there.
And that's another thing I was just going to tell you. So I actually did that recently, and it has started so much, turmoil with her. She says that first she accused me of cheating,
yeah,
and then she said, "Oh well, you don't respect me enough. You don't want to sleep in the bed with me anymore, and all of that." Because I stopped sleeping with her after she told me that she doesn't believe in God. I didn't even know this. This is all new to me. She told me that because she grew up as Catholic. She's a white female. She grew up Catholic. So
she's a white female, you say?
Yes, she's white. Yes.
And you're black?
Yes, I am.
Why you didn't find those things out while you were dating her?
I guess that's one of my mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my mistake.
Yeah, I understand. And the hard part is you have a child with her, and so it's hard to move on. But if you didn't have a child, you'd be able to move. It would still be hard because the ego would be wanting that fake love. It would still be hard. And the reason that she said, "Oh, you don't love me, you don't respect my feelings, you're not sleeping with me," is because she, inside of her, in her head, she knows she's losing that control over you. Because if she can't give you the drug, which is sex, she can't control you. And so she's really upset about that. And she would call you names, she would call you everything to try to get you to come back to the bed so she can control you.
Okay.
Will she
once again, I think
will she marry you?
Well, she claims she wants to now, but when she first got pregnant, see, I was trying to make it right. When she first got pregnant, I offered to marry her, and she basically said, "No way, I don't want to be married." I was like, okay. So, she didn't want to get married. Now she's saying she wants to get married now. That's what she's saying now. But this, like I said, my son is 3, so this is, 3 years later. Now she wants to get married, and I'm just like, well, you don't listen to me. Like, you don't listen to anything I say. Financially, she spends money. She works, but she spends money. I pay the bills, and she doesn't work, but she just spends the money. She has, she just spends money, and she just has bad money issues.
Yeah. I wouldn't marry her in that condition. You see what you're getting now. And if you marry her in that condition, living with her, you already see what she's like. You're just going to catch hell because you're getting married in hell, and it's not going to work. What I would recommend, I wouldn't even, this woman doesn't want to stay home and raise children or anything. I would, like I said, I would just sleep in a separate bedroom for now, and no sex. And do the silent prayer video so you can, so God can guide you through all this. God is not holding it against you, so He will guide you. Now you see you're wrong. So I would recommend you do the silent prayer. Don't blame her for your mess because you're wrong too. And she's wrong, but you got to take 100% responsibility for getting into it like that. Having sex out of wedlock, making babies out of wedlock, living with a woman out of wedlock. That's your fault, right? And you take 100 responsibility for that. And let her deal with her stuff the best way she can. And do the silent prayer, and amazing things will happen for you.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Jesse. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Chris. Thanks for your call.
Right.
You got to take responsibility. That's part of repentance. I'm wrong for hating. So all the stuff that is brought up on me, I'm wrong for it. I deserve it. And it's painful for the ego to admit that. It's real painful for the ego to admit that it is wrong. It got to make you try to blame others. But if you do, you won't be free. You'll just continue to repeat the same thing. But if you do admit you're wrong, then you will get better and the ego will be destroyed. And you'll get better. Who is this on 4, Nick? On 4? Neriah out of Brooklyn, New York. Neriah, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Neriah sounds like he's asleep or something. Caleb out of Virginia. Caleb, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm well. I'm still a little nervous. I guess I'm not over that.
Relax. Take a breath.
So I've got good news is I haven't been living with my mom for about the last 2 months.
How old are you?
29.
Wow. What took so long?
But well, the only reason I'm not there is because I'm living with my dad, and he's like putting me to work babysitting, which I think you mentioned isn't supposed to be the other kid's responsibility. But is that different now that I'm an adult or not?
You should have a man's job, not a lady's job.
You're right.
Don't let him make you out into a babysitter. Why are you babysitting? Where's the mother?
I don't know. Well, nobody knows right now. I don't know.
So
with that.
Your father has children that he's raising alone?
Yes, my half brother.
Oh, I see. And he's asking you to watch over the kids while he's at work?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, at first I wasn't really like responding to him about it because I wanted to focus on myself. And like I was gonna say, the bad news is I've got 2 moms. I didn't want to have to deal with beta dad.
Oh, you mean like your father is a beta?
Right.
Oh, that's what you mean about 2 mothers?
Yes.
So are you referring to your stepmother?
No.
Oh, okay. So your father and your mother are not together. Your father lived on his own.
Right.
Does he have another woman there or something?
No.
Oh, I see. So your father's like a mother.
Yeah.
I got you.
So yeah, at first I didn't want to help out at all, but I guess I appreciate the opportunity to grow. But it's pretty hard to deal with them. My little brother's just like his mom, and his mom is the most hateful thing you could think of.
Where is his? I mean, how many children? Just one?
Yeah.
Oh, who was taking care of the baby before you went to live there?
Well, I had mentioned before there was a custody battle going on, and I guess he was living with one of my other stepsisters for a while, on and off, and all that family, and my dad sometimes, so I don't know. They're all in a different city, but now we're in a different state right now.
What a mess!
My dad is. Yeah. So I don't really know much about that, but I wanted to ask kind of how to deal with
all right, hold
all
on.
these hateful people.
Hold on, all right?
All right.
Okay, hold on. I got to take a break. 1 more hour to go. Hake is coming in with the Hake news, not the fake news, but the Hake news. I'll come back to you, Caleb, right after this news break. Back in a moment. And more, your Super Chastity Live. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
The NIH's goofy director, Francis Collins, believes that Pfizer booster shots will be expanded despite that FDA panel's recommendation against booster shots, so-called China virus vaccine booster shots. And phony Fauci says officials will decide on China virus vaccine recommendation for children ages 5 to 11 soon, in the fall. Oh. And the United Airlines CEO says they're prepared to require passenger vaccinations if Biden mandates it. Teacher's pet. This is the end of Hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday, September 20th, 2021 AD. Stay tuned for Hour 3. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, hake news, not fake news. Well, some fake news, too. The Epoch Times reports U.S. National Institutes of Health Director Dr. Francis Collins said he believes booster shots will be expanded despite a panel of Food and Drug Administration experts recommending against them for the general population. An overwhelming majority of the panel, 16-3, voted against recommending Pfizer's vaccine booster for most of the general population, although they did later approve them for individuals aged 65 and older. Emergency use authorization, I believe it was. Some scientists on the panel expressed concern that side effects associated with the vaccine, such as myocarditis, a type of heart inflammation, aren't properly understood and suggested that young people don't need boosters for now. Yeah. But in an interview on Fox News Sunday, silly Francis Collins, whose agency does not oversee the FDA, said that the booster doses will likely be approved in the future. He doesn't care. I think the big news is that they actually did approve the initiation of boosters, I guess for the old folks. It would surprise me if it doesn't become clear over the next few weeks that the administration of booster may need to be enlarged, said Francis Collins. Based on data in the United States and Israel, it's clear the waning of the effectiveness of those vaccines is a reality, and we need to respond to it, says Francis Collins. He said he'd be surprised if boosters aren't recommended for people younger than 65, but he isn't sure if absolutely everyone will be recommended to get boosters, said this stupid commie hippie. Phony Fauci, The Epoch Times reports regulators should have data in the coming weeks to see whether the shots for children ages 5 to 11 are needed, said Biden, Hillary, Rachel Maddow lover Anthony Fauci. He told that to ABC News this week on Sunday, yesterday. Sometime in the next few weeks, as we get into October, we'll be able to see the vaccines for children get enough data to be presented for safety and immunogenicity, or something like that, said Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who has conducted hundreds of media interviews since the scam-demic began in early 2020. Phony Fauci's received significant criticism in recent months over whether his agency knowingly provided gain-of-function researchers working at the virology funding of the researchers, gain-of-function research in the Institute of Virology in Wuhan, China. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, authorized vaccinations for children ages 12 and older, ridiculous in my opinion, earlier this year. Some school districts, including here in LA, Los Angeles, made it mandatory for children to get fully vaccinated. Vaccine maker / pusher Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, Fox Garden the Hen House, said they'll likely release clinical data on vaccines for children ages 6 months to 5 years. 6 months in October. China virus vaccine data for children aged 5 to 11 will come sooner, he said. Ridiculous. And of course, the Scott Kirby, United Airlines CEO, is prepared to require passenger vaccinations if Biden mandates it. He'd support such a mandate, even though it would also inconvenience vaccinated passengers. He said, I think the administration is doing a really admirable job trying to find all the levers to push to get the whole country vaccinated. What a scumbag, this guy said. I think the administration's perspective has been getting people vaccinated at their work, at their place of employment. It's a one shot and you can get a really high percentage of the country, he said, as opposed to making it a burden on people that are vaccinated every time you get in a plane, train, any kind of public transportation to prove it. What a mess, huh? I am James Hake. Now on to Jesse Lee Peterson, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. Brand new biblical question. Do you pray the prayer of the heart or of the head? Do you pray the prayer of the heart or of the head? This is an amazing question. Really. It is a mind-blowing question. It's a mind-blowing question. We have a brand new episode of the FallenState.tv coming up. The FallenState.tv this Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I interviewed Scott Greer. I think that's it. I hope I pronounced this guy. James, what's his last name? Scott Greer. Thank you, Chris. He's the host of Highly Respected and the author of No Campus for white men, Scott Greer. It was an amazing conversation. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State. A lot of people get angry. They cannot believe that I can be both 6'2" and have a 187 IQ. But they try to teach us a different message, that you're supposed to feel bad. I'm just simply saying, no, I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of who I am. But for some reason, this is extremism. You know, all these people, you would have thought that they're fairly normal before, and then these guys are laying prostrate and like praying to George Floyd. You know, the media brainwashing that's happening to them. They feel that it's racist to notice the elephant in the room, that somehow the evil white man invented the idea of war, and this is all due to Christopher Columbus. Italian Americans can only have Mario from Super Mario, I guess. They love open borders, and we're seeing this with the Afghan refugee intake. They're like, Afghans are #1 Americans. They're better Americans than you.
Do you think the Great White Hope will be back again?
If he can possibly win, despite the censorship, despite the persecution, despite the deep state, I think it'd be a huge victory for the American people.
Amazing. So the fallenstate.tv this Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. I talked to Scott on the radio years back when his book first came out as well. You know, there are 1 or 2 white guys out there who are not afraid. Hank is one. Bill Lockwood is one. Chris is one. And a few others. I can't go on and on naming. But there are some white men who are saying, no, hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no. What the? We're here Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 to noon Eastern time. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Let me go quickly back to Caleb. Out of Virginia, 29 years old, living with his father now. His father, according to Caleb, sounds like your father had a second family, am I right?
Yes.
And then that woman, he had a child with that woman, but now she's gone?
Yeah.
And then
you mentioned the other day that no one has heard from her for like a month. I don't know what's up with that, but...
And now he wants you to babysit the baby.
Right.
And do you want to do that?
I didn't at first, but like I said, it's an opportunity to grow in peace and stuff.
What do you mean by that? How will you grow in peace babysitting?
Well, just the adversity or whatever.
Why don't you, have you ever had a job?
Yes.
And what do you know how to do?
Just computers and stuff, I guess.
Would you rather be babysitting or having a real job, a man job?
A real job, man job.
At 29, I would think so. Why don't you do that and let your father get someone else to babysit?
I'm not sure. He made it seem like I was the only option.
Did you ask him about that?
I tried to ask, why doesn't he talk to his neighbors, just like living in like one of those like housing areas with where there's just a bunch of houses all together. Like, I don't know why he doesn't like make friends with people. Because I was in Virginia and he's all the way down in South Carolina too, so it's not really convenient for me, but not that I was doing anything.
He asked you to move with him for that reason?
But it's kind of working out.